Most men over 40 think strength is about muscles, money, or control. But the truth is, your real strength begins with your health and your heart. I'm Dr. Vera Sterling, a urologist who has spent decades listening to men who quietly struggle, physically, emotionally, and intimately. Many of them come to me not just for medical advice, but for something deeper, a chance to reconnect with themselves and with the women they love. What if the secret to a stronger marriage isn't more effort, but better health, fewer smiles? What these men don't realize is that these aren't just mood swings or stress, they're biological warning signs. The body is whispering for attention long before it starts shouting. One of the most essential factors in a man's well-being is hormonal balance. Testosterone isn't merely about libido or muscles. It governs energy, confidence, motivation, and even empathy. When levels drop too low, a man can begin to lose his sense of drive. Suddenly, work feels heavier, irritability creeps in, and the emotional connection in marriage weakens. I've seen men repair their relationships simply by addressing this imbalance, through lifestyle changes, improved sleep, and, when needed, medical support. But hormones are just one part of the puzzle. Cardiovascular health is another silent cornerstone of vitality. The same arteries that supply blood to the heart also supply blood to other vital areas of the body. When those vessels stiffen or narrow, it doesn't just lead to heart problems, it affects intimacy too. Many cases of erectile dysfunction are early warnings of vascular disease, years before a heart attack ever happens. What's heartbreaking is how many men suffer in silence, too embarrassed to bring it up, while their marriages quietly drift apart. True strength in marriage begins with self-awareness. When a man takes charge of his health, his confidence naturally returns, and his partner feels it. The energy between them shifts. He's no longer reacting to fatigue or frustration. He's leading with vitality. I often remind my patients, your partner doesn't want perfection. She wants presence. And presence comes from feeling well in your body. Nutrition plays a quiet but powerful role here. Diets high in processed foods and sugars can inflame the body and disrupt hormone balance. Meanwhile, foods rich in antioxidants, like berries, leafy greens, and omega-3 fats, help improve circulation and reduce inflammation. Even something as simple as drinking enough water and limiting alcohol can significantly affect mood and stamina. Then comes sleep, the most underrated medicine. Deep restorative sleep is when testosterone surges, tissues repair, and the mind resets. Men who consistently sleep less than 6 hours often have lower hormone levels and higher stress hormones. Over time, this combination dulls both physical and emotional connection. I've watched marriages heal as men reclaim their sleep. Suddenly, they laugh more, argue less, and engage with real interest again. Because when the body rests, the mind reopens. Finally, we can't talk about well-being without addressing mental health. For decades, men were taught to tough it out, to hide fear or sadness behind silence. But emotional suppression is like high blood pressure. You might not see it, but it's doing damage inside. Studies show that men who express vulnerability in healthy ways, through honest conversation, journaling, or therapy, tend to have more fulfilling relationships and stronger physical health outcomes. Strong marriage doesn't start in the bedroom or at the dinner table. It starts with what's happening beneath the skin. The chemistry of connection is real, and it's influenced by hormones, circulation, and emotional balance. The first step toward a deeper bond is not fixing your partner, it's healing yourself. Because when a man's health rises, so does everything around him, his energy, his confidence, his marriage. Rebuilding connection through intimacy and emotional health. When a man begins to take control of his health, something remarkable happens. His life slowly starts to realign. His energy returns, his focus sharpens, and for the first time in years, he looks in the mirror and sees not fatigue, but potential. Yet physical recovery is only half of the journey. The next step, often the most transformative, is rebuilding emotional connection and intimacy within the marriage. I'm Dr. Vera Sterling, and I've witnessed this transformation countless times. Men who once felt distant or disconnected from their partners rediscover not only desire but also emotional depth. They begin to understand that intimacy is not just about performance. It's about presence, safety, and communication. And while hormones and blood flow may start the spark, emotional health keeps the flame alive. Many men in their 40s, 50s, and beyond underestimate the psychological impact of stress. Chronic stress floods the body with cortisol, a hormone that blunts testosterone, disrupts sleep, and impairs mood regulation. It's a vicious cycle. Stress lowers intimacy, which causes more stress, leading to resentment and silence. The body and marriage suffer together. Breaking that cycle starts with one word: awareness. When a man recognizes his body's signals, the tension in his shoulders, the shallow breathing, the restless nights, he's already halfway to healing. The second half is action, incorporating stress-reducing habits that calm the nervous system and nurture emotional resilience. For some men, it's mindfulness or meditation. For others, it's regular exercise or simply walking outdoors. Physical activity, especially strength training or brisk walking, stimulates endorphins and increases testosterone naturally. It also releases built-up tension, replacing irritability with clarity. I tell my patients, move your body and your emotions will follow. Yet even the healthiest routines can't replace honest communication. I've met couples who spend years living side by side, but barely speak from the heart. They exchange schedules but not feelings. The truth is, emotional intimacy requires the same attention as physical fitness. A man who learns to listen, not just to respond, but to understand, creates space for his partner to feel seen and safe. That emotional safety often reignites physical desire, creating a cycle of connection instead of distance. In many marriages, the decline in intimacy is mistaken for loss of love. But what's really fading is emotional alignment, a sense of being on the same team. When men begin to open up, admitting when they feel anxious, overwhelmed, or insecure, it doesn't make them weak. It makes them real, and realness is magnetic. I've seen wives move to tears not because their husbands suddenly changed, but because they finally allowed themselves to be human again. Sleep, nutrition, and movement lay the groundwork for physical strength, but gratitude and affection sustain emotional closeness. Small gestures like expressing appreciation, initiating touch, or speaking kind words release oxytocin, the bonding hormone. Over time, these micro moments of connection strengthen the emotional fabric of a marriage far more than grand gestures ever could. And then comes the deeper layer: sexual wellness. Many men silently endure erectile challenges, believing it's an irreversible part of aging. But science proves otherwise. With proper medical guidance, improved circulation, and lifestyle changes, most men can regain function and confidence. I always remind them, sexual health is not just about performance. It's about partnership. It's an ongoing dialogue between two people willing to explore, adapt, and grow together. What's equally vital is understanding that self-worth and intimacy are intertwined. When a man feels good in his body, his posture changes, his tone softens, and his eyes regain their spark. He stops hiding behind excuses and starts showing up fully, in conversations, in affection, in life. His partner senses the shift instantly. It's not the younger version of him returning. It's a stronger, wiser one who has learned that caring for his health is the ultimate act of love. By embracing these essential factors, hormonal balance, cardiovascular health, emotional openness, and sexual wellness, a man does more than extend his lifespan. He enriches his relationship. He creates a marriage that thrives not on routine, but on renewal. Because in the end, true masculinity isn't measured by silence or stoicism. It's measured by the courage to grow. And when a man commits to his own well-being, he doesn't just rebuild his body. He rebuilds the bridge between himself and the person waiting for him on the other side. That's the real secret to men's well-being and a stronger marriage. Healing from within, so love can rise again.